Thomas, we're back, my friend, Rising Star.
Rising Star Blake, how are you, man?
So happy to be here, guys. This is a dream come true.
Hug back at you.
Hug back at me, my man. This is the virtual hug right here.
Hug back at
Since
you.
you're 10 feet away from me, I can't walk over there.
You got dog tags. You've been around a while.
Yeah.
What's your dog tag number there?
Dog tag number is 766.
766.
Yeah. How many of these did you guys panned out?
You know what? We stopped numbering them after
Oh, wow.
I don't remember, a couple thousand.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Good.
Little trinket.
Cool. Yeah, broke it, though.
I broke it, though. I know.
Broke the chain. The chain's
fine. The dog tag's still.
You can't hurt the dog tag. Yeah. So that was an early taste. John, throw up Blake's bio. Perfect. So you're California kid, born and raised, Cal State Fullerton, the whole deal.
That's right.
You
Yep.
stayed local. You stayed home.
I did. I stayed home. Yeah, I moved all the way over to Placentia, which is the next city over, and that's it. That's as far as I go.
I love the story that you started trading when you were 16 years old, and you said you walked into a Scott trade, put down $1,000, and they even let you open an account.
Yeah.
They didn't know you couldn't do that.
Right. I walk in there, and they literally look at me, and I'm just a kid in high school, and then they go, "You want to open up an account with us?" And I go, "Yeah." And they like talk to the manager. They go, "All right, we'll let you open up." So that was when it all began. When I was 16. Just
That's so funny. And then you said you took a Investals class going back to, what year was that?
So that had to have been. So I graduated in 2006 from high school, and I was trading in maybe like 2004 when I started, and then I took Investals class. Gosh, probably like 2010. Something like maybe 3-4 years right out of high school around that time.
Funny. Yeah, that's great. And that's where you kind of caught on to all our stuff. And
yeah.
And that's awesome.
That's where I saw you, and my uncle took me to this motivational seminar. Took me and my brother. We were kids, and they had Investals there, and that's where I heard about it. And then I started following along with you, and I heard you guys were doing your own thing. And I go, all right, I'm following along and just going where I feel.
Did that all through grad school and everything else.
Yeah, all through grad school.
That is great.
It's
I
awesome,
love
man.
this story.
It's awesome. I'm so happy.
And so, like, I'm reading all the stuff that you sent over, and so when you're 16, you what'd you do? You bought some stock or something?
Yeah. So I just know growing up, everybody that's older always says, look, there's two things I wish I would have done better. I wish I would have managed my money better, and I wish I would have stayed in school longer. So I took that to heart, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn finances. I'm going to learn investing. And so I opened up my account, and I put, like I said, about $1,000 down. And I did actually had one of the worst and best things happen to me.
What happened?
In 2008, when the market crashed, I just started doing options, just kind of feeling it out. And I bought these super far out of the money calls. Like, they're like 5-cent options. Well, the market crashed, and I took this like $3-4 grand, and then some money my dad gave me too. Ended up making it like $50,000 within a matter of like 2-3 days.
Oh God!
And so that was like the death of me. it was the best thing that happened and the worst thing, because I'm sitting here going, "Oh, this is a piece of cake.
Any idiot
I'm going to quit my job. Yeah, this is easy.
Any idiot can do this.
Yeah, come on, how hard is this?
Now I know why these guys drive fancy cars.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Oh, this is Wall Street. Okay. And, but then what's funny, so that happened, and I was showing my dad my account, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy." But I took the next 2-3 years to lose it and give it all back. Yeah. And so from that point on, I go, you know what? I got the bug. I get it. But I really need to learn how to do this right. I need to take time to say, okay, if I want to do this and I'm passionate about it, I need to really learn. And so from there, that's when I came across Invest Tools. I did so many other online webinars and everything, and that's what led me to
I met you a
guys.
long time ago at an event, but I didn't realize until last night that it was the same.
It was me.
That we had that. That's so funny.
Yeah,
I don't even remember
funny.
what event it was, but it was at one of our events out in California.
Something out in LA, and you had your hands full of stuff, and I was like, "Tom, you need a hand?" And you're like, "Yeah, do you mind?" So I was like, "All right, I got you."
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward now until like after you get out of grad school. What'd you do after you got out of grad school, just like for work?
Sure. For work, I wanted to go in the finance field. I worked at a company called Pacific Life, which was an insurance company, and I was trying to kind of go more the financial advisor route, and having the insight and learning what you guys do.
Frustrated as hell.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. And I worked in their call center too.
Yeah.
So you get people calling in, financial advisors calling in, and you lose your mind. You're going,
Yeah.
boy,
You
this
have
is
an
just
MBA, you're trading your butt off, and you're answering questions
phone calls from people,
from a kindergartner.
That's exactly it. You know it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. I can't
Pulling my
believe
hair
it.
out so many times, and I worked in annuities too, so that was even.
Oh my God,
I
even
know.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of went this way, but now I work. I'm an account manager for a company called UNFI, United Natural Foods.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Are they all watching you today?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Why'd
that's
you
good.
call in sick?
Be careful there.
Yeah.
So
No, it's all good. They're excited for me.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you're still trading. You're still trading actively.
I still am. Yes. The biggest struggle for me was when I had an account. Okay, so I made the money, great, but then I slowly lost it all back. Well, you talk about it a lot, but having the capital to actually do trades, my whole life it seems like I've only had just a few grand here or there to kind of scrounge up. And all right, I'm going to try and do a vertical. I'm going to try and sell a call, something like that. But last year I refinanced my house and I pulled out cash. I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. So I pulled out 25 grand and then I doubled it.
That's
and it
great.
was all just through same.
This is 2019.
Yeah.
But this is a
last
much
year,
more.
2019.
2019 was like kind of your. This is your rising star year. This is your.
This is it, yeah.
This is your year when you went straight to the mechanics, I assume.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So going into 2019, you've been experimenting with a lot of stuff. You've been doing this for a long. You have a decade of experience.
Yeah.
So you've been. I don't want to say seasoned, but you've been. You've pretty much seen it all.
Seen it all.
Yeah. Or at least you think you've seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flash crash.
So how'd
You don't have any gray hair yet, but you've
No,
seen
not
it
yet.
all,
It's
right.
going a little bit, but I'm still covering it up.
Yeah, you're young. You're a baby. So, what did you decide at the beginning of the year? Like, now I'm serious. I've refinanced my house. I need this money.
It's real.
It's real. This counts.
Yeah.
And I can't go to the parents anymore and say, hey, can you write me a check? So, like you said, I'm going to just get down to basics. So let's talk about like what you did this year to actually double your money.
Sure.
Walk me through it.
Yeah. The hardest thing for me was going from over the 10 years. It's going from, okay, this is easy. You buy out of the money calls. You're going to hit a home run overnight. It's going from that to saying, okay, I'm going to be disciplined. And I'm gonna follow my rules, and I'm not gonna panic. I'm not gonna try and make it big overnight. It's gonna be slow, but you know what? It's gonna be consistent.
How much money did you, of the 25 grand over the course of the year? How much money do you think you averaged, like of your available buying power? How much do you think you used all year? Did you keep it at around half or around that number?
Around there, yeah. Actually, I went up a little bit. I'd say maybe around 20 grand. I always, at the height, I'd have 20 grand fully invested in there.
Got it.
But yeah, I always try and keep the powder dry. That's what I've learned.
How often do you trade without getting yourself in trouble at work?
No,
or anything else?
you're fine. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. I get up early, 6:30, but I put on a couple trades, take off a couple trades, and then take
So
off
every
to
day
work.
you're active.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in the market anymore that scares you or anything like that. You're just looking for opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one thing that I learned so much over the last year is, if you ever wake up and you're just panicked and you're out of control, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? If you wake up and you're just like, you're pulling your hair out and you're freaking out, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You really are. Your trading style is not what it should be.
So let's talk about your trading style. Let's talk about some of the strategies that you've been using. First of all, how many positions are you generally carrying?
Typically, I have on about 10 to 12 positions, I'd
10,
say.
12, that's about
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
So that's about perfect for using about, between 15 and 20 grand or whatever as maybe, 25 or something like that.
Especially
and
the low IV rank. That
yeah. Especially because
Yeah.
it's been,
Oh, yeah.
that part's been challenging all year.
Yeah.
And then do you care what you trade?
No.
Okay.
And that's kind of the thing is you learn the finesse of it. I was always equated to saying you can read all the books in the world you want on how to swing a golf club, and you keep your arms straight, you bend your knees, and then you get out there and then you swing and you just like dig a hole halfway to China, and you're like, well, what is this? But I've learned that discipline, just be focused, be smart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And let's talk strategies.
Okay.
So kind of like you see something that you think is opportunity based on either based on price or based on implied volatility, whatever it is. What kind of strategies, like what's a go-to for you?
My go-to for me is ratio spreads right now.
Okay, great.
They've worked out really good for me. Usually
Put ratios, call ratios. What are you doing?
Kind of everything. I'll do 3-to-1, 5-to-3, or 5-to-2. I keep it skewed usually to one side to where if it runs up or down one way or another, just depending on whatever my.
Are you doing it delta based?
I do it more. I do it more probability based. I'd say. So look at it and say, okay, I go a little bit smaller of a probability, and I manage it quicker. So I'll say, okay, now I'm going to do like a 65% probability, but it's going to be tight. And I usually do it over earnings too. That's my best entry point from what I've learned.
I mean, ratio spreads, highest probability of success, smallest profits.
Right.
But there you go. Lots of wins.
Exactly. Lots of wins. That's the game, is you have to have lots of wins for me.
Do people think you're crazy?
Yeah. I was quick to answer that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you understand how small the world is we live in.
Right. No,
I mean, you're talking ratio spreads. We sit here, you and I and Tony talk ratio spreads. It sounds like everybody in the world talks ratio spreads.
Yeah.
There's 6 people.
Oh, you do ratio spreads. Okay.
Yeah. All my family and friends are sitting home right now going, well, we lost
You go back to Fullerton, California right now, and I'm telling you, there's 6 people that know what a ratio spread is.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little tiny world that we live in, but, but it's super cool too. Does anybody like when you talk about this, do people come up to you and say, well, what do I need to do to get in, or teach me something?
Yeah,
I'm just curious, because you're young.
Right.
What do your friends say?
They think
you're a millennial.
I'm a millennial. They know I trade. They don't really understand it. I've guest lectured at Cal State Fullerton a few times, just talking about general options and this and that. But
you stay in touch with your professors? I
do. Yeah, all the time.
And they do they ask questions too?
They do. Yeah. There's my professor Art McClatchy. He has a company called The Reluctant Capitalist. But he'll call me up and he'll just go, hey, I have a put on, but it did this or something, something.
As soon as they say I had put on, all right, so they're
okay. I'm
dealing by the terminology, just the way they talk.
I have calls.
You got to talk shop. If not, then you're doing something you're not understanding.
Does it blow your mind that when you're talking to professors, you're like, I'm 6 years ahead of where I can't believe. What I've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not all applicable to whatever all the other things you do in your life, but there probably has to be a huge takeaway from all the decision-making skills that you've developed as a trader. I mean, you've made probably thousands of trades.
Yeah.
Mean, the how many trades did you make this year? Do you know?
2019. I don't know the total amount.
Okay.
I know, for commissions, I paid like $2 or $3 grand.
It's okay.
So commissions,
total accounts, total trades I've made in my career either.
Right. Yeah.
But if you average 4 to 8 trades a day, you're trading 1,000 to 2,000 times a year.
Yeah.
And that's probably that's nothing for you.
Right. Yeah. It's I'd say 3-4 trades a day typically is what I'm looking at.
That's at least 1,000 probably. You're probably higher than that. You're probably in the neighborhood of like 1,200 to 1,700 trades.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that how's that changed what you do at work, other things you do in your life?
It changes your mentality because you look at the decisions that you make, and especially when you have something on and you go, boy, I have $20,000 of buying power, and you hear these kind of, well, if the market crashes, you could just lose your shirt and you could owe so much, but you get so comfortable with it that you go, you know what, I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in my decisions that I made. And I went from basically going to a casino, and putting money down on a blackjack table, to now saying, well, now it's opposite. You're playing the probabilities, you're managing it, and it's proven success. Yeah.
You're competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. Do you find that it's like Blake versus the markets? I mean,
the second I think that, I go, okay, something's wrong, because something will wake up and you go, okay, shoot, I'm down. Like I said, about a $25,000 account. Okay, I'm down about $2-3 grand, and you're just like, oh man, all right, I gotta do something quick to get back at it, or I gotta make this up.
You're just getting mad.
You get mad, but you go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna pull off that trade or manage it. What am I gonna do? And you know what? There's 3-4 other trades that are gonna carry your wins.
You're gonna do this for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, I'm hooked. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. So have you branched into have you branched into futures at all, or futures options yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you're doing the whole mix.
Doing everything. Yeah,
you're indifferent to product.
Right, I'm a different product. The only time with my size of account, the only time I really put on a future is like I traded oil a decent amount. I'll do like a covered call on an oil contract. That's one strategy. Another one would be hedging against the market. So I'll be short a future. So if I have a bunch of trades on, and I'm worried about the market crashing, I'll kind of scalp a future here and there short, just in case the market really.
You look at your overall delta.
Exactly. Look at your overall delta, manage it. Look at your theta numbers, see where you're at. Yeah.
How much do you look at your delta to theta ratio at all?
A little bit, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you try to stay like? Is there a certain like you have a happy spot? Like, is it 1-to-1 or like?
Yeah, about that. Mostly I look at the biggest thing is I try to keep my theta around me like $100 to $150 a day. Yeah. And then from there, I look at my delta and I'll say, okay, how do I feel about the market? How are my overall positions? If I go, well, I'm super long delta. Okay, I'm looking at short options now, and I'm shorting in the direction of the market.
Yeah, that's a very manageable number. Using let's just say 20 grand or something like that. That's a very manageable theta number.
Yeah.
So
just
it's
keep it there.
Yeah, it's a number that you can manage, and you can also do other things with your life.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't worry about it at all.
You're still at the point where you have a life. That's good. It's good. Trading and still have a life. Not bad.
What'd you say? You're 31?
Yeah, 31. Yeah.
31. You can trade. You can have a life. Okay.
You can do stuff.
When you turn 72, like the bat is. It's,
can't do that.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. When you're 135, like he's about to be next year, it's all over.
He still got his hair though. He's good.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
Yep. No, as a trader, you'll keep your hair forever.
Okay?
Yeah. You stay young.
Yeah, you
keeps
do.
young. You hang around with.
I was talking to my mom, and she goes, "Oh, you're going on that show? I remember you watched that when you were living at home."
Right.
And she goes, "That's the guy with the long hair and the hat." I go, "That's the guy."
She started. Your mom's like, "What the hell?
What is going on?
It's a cult."
It's a cult. When they brainwash my kid, what is he doing?
Exactly.
But no,
exactly.
It's been great. I'm I finally, it literally took me 10 years to say, all right, you know what, I got it now, and it's consistent. It's
well, you get to a level where like levels out, where you feel like where you no longer blame anybody but yourself.
Right.
Which is the greatest thing to do as far as like kind of financial independence goes. Mm-hmm. The best thing is like, listen, the only person you get mad at is yourself.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I can't believe I just did that, or crap, I can't believe I did this.
And every time you do something like that, you go, I know at the time when I was putting the trade on, or I was doing it, this is kind of I shouldn't be doing this, and then you pulled the trigger anyways. And that's usually when something bad happens.
Do you mix in earnings?
I knew better kind of thing.
Do you mix in earnings with your with the other strategies?
I do. Yeah, I love earnings trades. Yeah.
Okay.
I usually use that typically as my entry point to say, yeah, all right, this is it. And if it goes against me, either it goes way against me to where I'm at the point I say, you know what, I'm done with it. Yeah, I can't work anything. Or it works out great. If it stays against you a little bit, you let it hang and let the odds just play out in your favor.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I love that. Do you get a chance to watch the show as much anymore?
A little bit, not as much. You guys keep me company on my commute through LA traffic, though. So
don't drive and watch Tasty.
No. Audio only, not no video.
Perfect. Well, you don't need the video anymore.
Yeah.
But did you tell me you had never been to Chicago before?
Never been to Chicago.
This is your first time, right?
First time, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you're going to love it.
The research team already set me up. They go, here's your plans for the night. You're eating dinner here. You're going out here for the bars afterwards. You're doing this. So, yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't listen to those guys. The research team.
You listen to the time. You got to do all that before 6 p.m.
Yeah, okay.
7 o'clock bedtime. That's right.
Friday night?
That's when the fun's getting started.
Friday night? Are we staying up till 7 Friday?
7:30.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Never ask a research team what's going
to. No, okay.
They
give me a book too. Even that's funny.
They give you a book
on restaurants. Yeah, they go, here's a book we all created together.
We put together some fun stuff. Yeah, we can give you some that we're good with. When we had markets like we've had recently, the last straight up one direction, one dimensional markets, low implied volatility. How do you find trades?
That's when I mostly go to earnings typically, because it's
your cycle coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's it. Is you put on earnings trade. There's low IV, and that's where you can kind of get your juice to squeeze, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then from there, I try to keep stocks that are a little bit higher priced. So at least $40 stock is what I'd trade. The reason why is if it goes down.
Do you do any defined risk trades?
I do some, some vertical spreads here and there.
Yeah. Do you mix up your strategies to keep some diversification among
I do.
strategies? Okay,
absolutely,
good.
I do. I still do some defined risk. Yeah, it is. It's important because it's just an overall portfolio. You know, it's you got to have all your different tricks to go to. So. Yeah.
Do you find yourself using a lot of the stuff that a lot of the spread logic, I shouldn't say spread logic, a lot of the trading methodology in other things that you're doing? I kind of asked the question before, but I didn't really get into it. But like, you know, I talked about your decision making, but do you find yourself like also thinking about things kind of at work probabilistically?
Absolutely. Everything you think about.
You put everything into a distribution curve and go and try to make logic out of it. And people think you're nuts.
Everything. It's hilarious. Yeah. I'll talk about like the one eye-opening thing for me was I was talking about probability in nature and what's neat is there's this company, I forgot the name, but they had this. Remember Plinko from the old Price is Right? You know, they drop the little thing and it goes down.
Yeah.
But what's neat is they have this little machine drops all these marbles down, and it hits a peg, and every time it hits a peg, it has a 50-50 chance of going either left or right. And there's all these pegs, but when they dump all these marbles down, it comes out into a perfect distribution curve. And I was like, this is so cool, man.
Yeah, we have a little toy out there.
Oh, do you? Okay, that does the same thing.
We have a little thing. Yeah, it does the same thing. You just drop everything down, and it comes in a perfect distribution curve. They sell it now on Amazon or something, and everybody has them. And you look around, you're like, wow, a little distribution curve. I do it all the time with my kids, and they say, well, what do you every time somebody says, what are the chances of something happening? You just automatically say, oh, it's about 16%, because it's just when you start to think about different things, everything falls inside that distribution curve.
I literally was talking to my Uber driver before the flight, and I go, you know what? I hate flying. I never liked it, but I go, I'm statistically way more likely for something to happen in the drive there than on the plane, by billions of times. But you think about that logic of the statistics, and you go, okay, it makes sense in everything you do in life. It's all stats based.
When you look at your overall portfolio, like how do you decide, like are you looking at your net lick to determine how much more? Are you looking at your net lick, how many different positions you have on, how much available buying power you have? Like, how do you decide what you're going to do next? Because I think that's the question a lot of people have that are watching this segment. They're like, okay, well, that's great. He went from, $25,000 to $50,000 this year on it. That double your money. That's freaking awesome. That's why you're a rising star, and that's a great way to start building building wealth. But how do you decide how much capital you want to? How do you stay small, basically?
Right, that's a good point. I just set my limits where if it's a higher price stock, I'm going to risk this much. If it's lower price stock, I'm going to risk this much, and never getting too big. And that's just the biggest thing. When it comes to my buying power,
what's your average contract size? Is it 1, 2, 3? I mean,
usually about that. Yeah, so like a ratio spread is the highest. I'll go like a 5 to 2 or something on a contract. Base.
Got it. You're not legging either. You're just doing them as a spread.
Right. Yeah. The only time I'll leg is if it goes against me and I need to adjust. Then I'll throw something on the other side of it to balance it out.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. So it's all it's all coming together.
Coming together. Yeah.
Look at this, Bat. We've created a monster.
Of course, he's not the only one.
No. He's not the only one, but we've created a monster. I love it. Well, we're super excited that you got a chance to come out here, spend 22 minutes with us. I know it goes so fast.
It does. It goes quick. I'm going, oh my gosh, that was it. But this is a dream come true for me. So thanks for having me, guys.
No, it's awesome. I mean, you've hung in there. It's hard to hang in there when you're 16. You're basically doing half your life.
Yeah. She's you put in that perspective, yeah.
Well, you'll be doing it for the rest of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
So at some point it'll be 84%. But
there's the statistics again, right?
Yeah, but it's super cool, and the Bat and I are really happy for you. It's a great lesson in wealth creation. It's a great lesson in everything that you're doing is spot on, and we started the same age as you.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
It's just awesome, and I can't wait to see what happens over the next 10, 15 years for you.
Yeah, no, I can't wait either. It's great. It's just sky's the limit. It's finally last 2-3 years is when I go, okay, I got this. And last year it worked out great.
For you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sweet. So thanks, Blake. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming in.
No, thank you. My pleasure.
Appreciate your time. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. We're going to come back. We got Bootstrapping America next.